OpenAI just shared GPT 5.5's first independent benchmark score, and it's a crucial reality check for what these new models can actually do for you. Also, XAI's new custom voices feature means you can clone a voice in 1 minute and deploy it as an API. Talk about lowering the barrier for voice products, right? And if you ship to Europe, listen up, because the EU AI Act's full enforcement is now just 3 months away. We're unpacking all this, what changed, why it matters, and how you can experiment with these tools, models, and ideas right now. No BS AI briefing, brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host, Vikash Sharma, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. First up, OpenAI just made a big move with GPT 5.5. Sam Altman publicly invited Elon Musk to a private launch event for GPT 5.5 scheduled for May 5th in San Francisco. This kind of high profile invitation definitely gets attention. More importantly for us builders, the RC Prize Foundation also released its analysis for GPT 5.5, showing a score of 0.43% on the ARSC AGI 3 benchmark. This new model specifically emphasizes new coding and science capabilities, pushing beyond what we saw with GPT 5.4. For builders, the ARSC AGI 3 benchmark is a big deal because it's an early third-party validation of the model's reasoning performance. That's crucial for figuring out if GPT 5.5 can handle your complex, multi-step problem-solving tasks, not just simple text generation. The focus on coding and science capabilities also tells us where OpenAI has optimized this model. Think developer workflows and specific technical applications, not just more general chat. And this public event, inviting a figure like Elon, signals broader availability is likely coming very soon. So it's time to start preparing your integration plans. If you're thinking of upgrading, it's a strategic signal for product planning. Next up, XI is making waves in the voice AI space with its new offerings. They've just launched custom voices for their Grok Voice API. This builds on their previous release of Grok Voice Think Fast 1.0, which is now generally available via API. What's incredible about custom voices is that it allows you to clone a voice from just 1 minute of speech and then integrate that unique voice directly into their text-to-speech and voice agent APIs. It's a game changer for personalized voice interfaces. I mean, think about that for a second. Cloning a voice from 1 minute of audio, that dramatically lowers the barrier for deploying personalized voice agents. You're not spending weeks on custom training anymore. This combines real-time voice reasoning, which is what Grok Voice Think Fast is good at, with branded voice cloning, giving you an end-to-end solution for voice product development. The use cases are really clear here. Imagine customer service bots speaking in your brand's specific voice, educational assistants with a more personal touch, or even entertainment apps with unique character voices, all accessible through an easy-to-use API. It's an immediate opportunity for builders to differentiate their voice experiences. And shifting gears, the European Commission just clarified some critical timelines for the EU AI Act. This isn't something to put off anymore. The EU AI Act becomes fully applicable on August 2nd, 2026. That's a huge shift from previous expectations, which suggested full compliance might not be until December 2027. Under this accelerated timeline, high-risk AI systems and general-purpose AI models must now meet stringent requirements for risk assessment, documentation, transparency, and human oversight. Plus, any AI-generated content needs to be clearly labeled, and users must be explicitly informed when they're interacting with AI. Look, if you're shipping AI products to Europe, this means compliance is no longer a distant concern. It's a 3-month sprint, not a 2-year runway. That's a massive change in pace. What's critical for builders is that general purpose models are specifically in scope here. That means even if you're just accessing a model like GPT 5.5 via a third-party API, you still need to document its use and ensure proper labeling. So any AI generated content within your product, whether it's text, images, or even code suggestions, must be clearly flagged to your users. It's time for an urgent audit if you haven't started already. So let's dive deeper into OpenAI's GPT 5.5 and that ARC AGI 3 benchmark score. OpenAI recently rolled out GPT 5.5 in late April, positioning it as a new agentic model with advanced tool use capabilities and the ability to handle multi-step tasks. Alongside this, they doubled its API pricing compared to GPT 5.4. We're talking $5 for input and 30 for output per million tokens now, up from 250 and 15. But the big news today is the RC Price Foundation's analysis revealing GPT 5.5 scored just 0.43% on their RCAGI 3 benchmark. Why does this matter right now? Well, for a start, this is the first independent quantitative signal we're getting on GPT 5.5's actual reasoning capability. It's not just marketing speak or anecdotal evidence. This kind of third party validation is crucial for builders who are trying to decide if it's worth the upgrade from GPT 5.4, especially given the doubled API costs. In the market, it sets a realistic expectation for what these advanced models can and can't do, which is vital for product roadmaps and development sprints. It's about building products based on actual performance, not just hype. So, who should really care about this? Founders, you need to understand this score when you're evaluating new AI features or considering migrating your stack. It directly impacts your cost benefit analysis and strategic product decisions. Product managers, this 0.43% score should inform your feature prioritization. Where can GPT 5.5 genuinely add value and where will it fall short? For engineering leaders and indie hackers, it's about practical implementation, knowing its strengths for coding or scientific analysis, but also its limitations for novel, truly complex reasoning. It helps you design more robust systems with appropriate human in the loop checks. As a builder, here's how I'd approach this. The ARC AGI 3 benchmark is intentionally difficult. It's designed to test general reasoning on novel tasks, not just pattern matching from its training data. For context, human performance on this benchmark is around 85%, and random guessing would yield about 20%. So, GPT 5.5's 0.43% score, while seemingly low, isn't a total failure, but it is a strong signal. It tells us that while GPT 5.5 is likely excellent for specialized tasks like coding or scientific analysis, where it can leverage its vast training data and tool orchestration, it still struggles significantly with genuinely novel problems that require deep, multi-step logical deduction and constraint satisfaction from first principles. My mental model here is that it's a brilliant specialist, but not yet a general purpose problem solver. You wouldn't ask a top tier surgeon to design a bridge, right? That's the kind of specialization we're seeing. My no BS take: while Sam Altman inviting Elon Musk to a private launch event makes for great marketing, don't get caught up in the optics. The real story is that this 0.43% score reinforces that current models, even GPT 5.5, are powerful, specialized tools, not AGI, and we need to use them as such, with clear understanding of their specific strengths and limitations. If you're finding this useful, hit follow in your podcast app right now. It takes 2 seconds and it's the best way to make sure you don't miss the next briefing. If you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, here it is. I want you to experiment with GPT 5.5 on your hardest coding task. We're talking about something genuinely complex, perhaps a refactoring challenge that's been sitting in your backlog, or a tricky code generation problem that usually requires significant human effort. The idea here is to specifically test its claimed improvements in coding and accuracy. Here's how to try it in under 60 minutes. First, identify that complex generation or refactoring task. Pick something that's difficult enough that you'd normally allocate a senior engineer a few hours to tackle it. Second, run that task through both GPT 5.5 and your current go-to model, which is likely GPT 5.4. Use identical prompts where possible. Then, third, measure the output. Don't just look at whether it compiles. Measure the time to production ready code. How long does it take you or your team to get that AI generated output into a state where it can actually ship? Track the number of hallucinations, the subtle errors, and the overall review effort required. You're looking for a tangible reduction in human in the loop time. Why is this specific experiment worth your time right now? Because OpenAI claims significant accuracy gains and reduced hallucinations for GPT 5.5, and the coding and science focus suggests it's optimized for these exact scenarios. The API cost for GPT 5.5 has doubled, so you need real data to justify that expense. This quick focus test will validate those claims against your real world workload. It'll tell you if the upgrade is truly worth it for your specific engineering challenges, helping you make a data driven decision rather than just following the hype around a new model launch. It's about practical ROI, not just benchmarks. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.